Military announced yesterday that it conducted a strike against another alleged drug smuggling boat in the Eastern Pacific Ocean, killing one person. We'll have the latest in about 15 minutes, so stay with us. You're listening to Morning Edition from NPR and WNYC. Overcast skies to start the day. It's 34 degrees. The air quality is moderate today due to some particle pollution. Sleet is forecast for the next hour. Rain and overcast skies will stick around today with some possible snow before noon.
Every day, WNYC is working to get closer to New York and to New Yorkers. The underwriting we get from businesses helps power our independence. Learn how your organization can join in at sponsorship.wnyc.org.
I'm Karen Havlick, producer of New Sounds. We appreciate our listeners and our listening community so hard, and we're looking forward to sharing with you the weirdest and most wonderful music in 2026. Thank you.
A new era for weight loss drugs.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Yubico, makers of the YubiKey, protecting the applications and accounts that people and businesses rely on every day. YubiKey helps stop phishing attempts and hackers. YubiKey, still undefeated, the original passkey. More at yubico.com. And by Odoo, offering software that provides building blocks for creating a custom software suite. Odoo, what businesses need.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Benishore, in for David Brancaccio. GLP-1 weight loss drug injections have slimmed many waistlines and wallets. They are not cheap. A much less expensive alternative has now been approved by U.S. regulators. Novo Nordisk has gotten the green light for an oral version of Wegovy. Pills are cheaper to manufacture than injectables, and that could be a game changer. Marketplace's Nova Safo has more.
The Food and Drug Administration's approval of a once-a-day pill form of Wegovy sets up the likelihood that it could be sold for far less than the once-a-week injectable form, which has a list price of as much as $1,000 a month. The pills could be as little as $150 a month. That figure comes from a deal the company previously struck along with competitor Eli Lilly with the Trump administration. That was part of a broader effort to make the weight loss drugs available to more Americans. Many can't access GLP-1 medications because their insurance plans refuse to cover the expensive treatments for weight loss alone. The drugs were initially intended to treat diabetes. Meanwhile, a health insurer-funded study found that employer health plans that do cover the drugs saw premiums increase by as much as 14% because of the high costs. Novo Nordisk says the pill form of Wegovy will be available by early January. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
So how's everyone feeling about the economy? Later this morning, we will get an idea when the Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index comes out. The analysts who track this stuff expect people to be feeling a little better after a big drop in mood in November. The government shutdown was a consumer buzzkill. But as Marketplace's Amy Scott reports, there is still plenty weighing on consumers as we head into a new year.
Between the high cost of living and low expectations for the job market,
consumers are feeling relatively unfavorable towards the economy.
Joanne Shu is director of the Surveys of Consumers at the University of Michigan, whose own consumer sentiment index improved slightly this month, but is down more than 28% from this time last year.
They're feeling strain on both sides of their budgets. They remain pretty frustrated by the persistence of high prices, and they're also worried about their incomes in the year ahead.
And most people surveyed expect the job market to get worse. Aaron Cheris, a partner at consulting firm Bain & Company, says that's likely to affect consumer spending.
We're sort of in an uncertain period for most people. And so what I suspect is that will, particularly for discretionary purchases, continue to be a little bit of a limiter on growth.
One thing that could lift the mood in the new year, he says, is the bigger tax refunds many should see from this year's Republican tax cuts, especially wealthier households. I'm Amy Scott for Marketplace.
All right, let's do the numbers. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are kind of barely moving. Dow futures basically flat. S&P futures up less than 0.1%. Same with the NASDAQ. And the 10-year Treasury yield is 4.15%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance, helping protect small businesses with a variety of coverages like general liability, workers' compensation, and commercial auto. More at progressivecommercial.com. And by Ascendium Education Group, which is committed to making education and training after high school a reality for learners from low-income backgrounds.
When the economy is in recession, you get more people who are long-term unemployed, unable to find a job for more than 6 months. When the economy is expanding, people do find jobs and long-term unemployment comes down. At least that is how it normally works. This past year, something has been off. The economy has expanded, but we are getting more people who are long-term unemployed. 1.9 million in November, an increase of 12% from a year before. Marketplace's senior economics contributor Chris Farrell is here to talk about it. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Do we know why the number of long-term unemployed people is rising, even though the economy has been growing?
So there are a couple of reasons, but let's take the long-term perspective first. There are two economists from the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis, and in a recent report, they note that over the past 7 decades, it has taken longer for the unemployed to find jobs. And the explanation they favor relates to how people search for jobs. Specifically, the barriers to sending out a resume have fallen sharply with online applications. So, give you one example. From the 1980s to the 2010s, the number of jobs the typical unemployed worker applied to each month, it's gone up from nearly 3 to 7. So it takes time, they say, for human resource departments to sift through all those online applications.
Yeah, well, at a moment where AI is surging, does that make it worse or better?
My expectation is going to make it worse because it just makes it ever easier to send out multiple job applications, and employers are likely to find themselves, with more applicants for posted positions than ever. And the Minneapolis Fed economists, they highlight another impact, which reflects another durable long-term trend: wage inequality. So the well-documented increase in wage inequality may encourage unemployed workers to pass on low-wage opportunities in the hope of getting a better-paying job, they say.
Does this trend, people out of work for longer, tell us that the job market is actually even weaker than we thought?
I think so. Look, the job market, it's not really dynamic right now. Economists have taken to calling it the low fire and low hire market, with all the uncertainties weighing on business. I mean, think tariffs. Companies are slow to hire and people are reluctant to quit their jobs. So odds are this lack of vigorous job churn, it's just going to make it that much harder for unemployed workers to land another one quickly. And the worry, of course, is that employers, they look unfavorably at anyone who is unemployed for months on end, for a variety of reasons. And I don't need to say this, do I? But being unemployed, being without a job, it takes a financial and mental toll.
Mm-hmm. All right. Marketplace's senior economics contributor Chris Farrell in St. Paul. Thank you as always.
Thanks a lot.
Our producers are Tamar Fagan, Ashley Rodriguez, Ariana Rosas, and Erica Soderstrom. Our senior producer is Alex Schroeder. Our supervising senior producer is Meredith Gerritsen-Morby. And in New York, I'm Sabri Benishore with the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.
WNYC is supported by the Joyce Theater presenting Momix's Alice, a holiday production inspired by Alice in Wonderland featuring illusion, acrobatics, and visual stage imagery. Now through January 4th. Tickets at joyce.org.
Enjoy the festive music of the season on the Classical Holiday Channel from our sister station, WQXR. You'll hear traditional carols,